Hi, this is Matt Mountain with 410 Solutions, and this is a overview of the investment banking template that I have built on Salesforce's Sales Cloud application. What you're looking at here is the application I've called Investment Banking, and I chose to include these tabs: Home, Accounts, Contacts, Pitches, Projects, Deals, and then an M&A dashboard. Keep in mind, all of these tabs can be renamed. In fact, everything you're going to see today can be, if you don't like the terminology, we can rename it. We can add new fields. We can remove some fields you don't like. We can change page layouts. What we're going to do here over the next 10 minutes is walk through the functionality that I built that I can offer as part of my service to your investment banking needs. So what we're looking at here is the home page. Again, this can be easily customized. I've got some news. I've got tasks for today, my meetings for today. And then Salesforce's Assistant. If there's a record in here that I haven't touched in a while, it's proactively going to mention it to me. What I want to do is start with accounts. And what we've done is we've pre-built what's called record types. Record types are a way to track different information about different types of records and have different relationships. So in here we've got strategics, intermediaries, and our sponsors. Instead of creating one, I'm just going to click on the Accounts tab here, and you're going to see that I have defaulted to my strategic accounts. As I pull up a strategic account here, you can see that I'm tracking just some different information about them. But I can also track information regarding my sponsors, for example. So in this case of my sponsors, page layout is different. I'm tracking dry powder, where for an intermediary, I probably am not doing that. As I look at the intermediary page, I can not only see my intermediaries, but I can take a look at what type of intermediary they are. So I'm allowed, as part of this, to track different information about each company. When I go back and let's pull up Chemical Products Incorporated here, what I can do is I have one or more than one contact associated to that. So if I were to click on this contact, you can see now that we're at the Contacts tab. And simply by clicking on a link, I can go from one tab to another. So I'm just going to click on Chemical Products Incorporated, and now we're back at the account. So account and contacts, pretty fundamental. Every CRM does it. What we want to move on to now is what's called pitches, and this is where you're pitching your business. So I'm going to click on this link here, and now we're on the Pitches tab. And what we're doing here is we're able to track information about each pitch presentation that we're doing. So as we're talking to them, we're going to want to update, okay, when would this start? How long would it go? What's the tail end date? What would be our fees? Is it buy side, sell side, advisory, capital raising? Just some information about this specific pitch, along with the stages. Now again, all this can be customized, but based on a lot of experience in deploying it, a lot of these stages seem to be common. So, we start out with idea developed, pitch completed, engagement letter review, negotiation, and then engagement letter signed. So what we've got in place here is that when we change the stage to engagement letter signed, it is automatically behind the scenes going to create a project for us. So what I'm going to take a look at here is this project, and I'm going to click on Picasso. So now we're on the Projects tab, and there's a lot going on here. So the Projects tab sits between the pitches and the deals. So I'm pitching the business, I win it, I now have a project called Picasso. I can see it's associated to this company. It's a sell side. Who's the project lead and who's on the team? What was the pitch associated to it? And what you're going to see is a lot of this information came from the pitches. We also have some financials here and some calculations. But associated to this, as we're out talking to different companies about this project, we're going to go in and create deal records. And as part of creating deal records, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new record, and now you can see that we're on the deals. Each deal record is associated to a project and a company. And I'm tracking a lot of different dates regarding, as we move down the process, what date did this happen? Did this happen? Did this happen? And again, what we've got is our different statuses up here. Again, all of this can be changed, but we've got, we start with contacted to materials sent, phase 1 diligence, LOI received, signed LOI, phase 2 diligence, signed purchase agreement, or they declined. If there is phase 2 diligence, and what we can do now is we can also track the offer details. So between equity, cash, and earnout, put in those numbers, and then it'll total up at the deal value level. Now, as I go back to the project, I'm going to click on this link here. Now I'm back on Project Picasso. We also have a graph over here that shows all the deal values. So in this case, you can see that there's been 3 companies that have put in an offer. And what does the dollar amounts total to? And to get more information regarding that, all you have to do is click on this View Report link, and it's going to take us from the Project tab out to the actual report with the data behind it. Now, going back to the projects and the pitches, one of the things that's very important is, okay, what's our expected revenue for all of these pitches and for all of these active projects? So as we take a look at the M&A dashboard here, we've got a number of different reports. The first row here just talks about, pitch pipeline by stage and active projects and pitches by month. But this second row really starts getting into the revenue aspect for each firm. So as we take a look at this one specifically, expected revenue, what this does is this puts a factor, a percentage on each pitch, as well as a percentage on each project, and it totals it up. So I'd be happy to walk through the calculations I've got based upon probabilities, but this expected revenue shows it overall. This one is just specific to projects based upon when the project could end, and then specific to various pitches that are going on and applying percentages to those. What we also have is a report by project lead. So who's leading, how much, or the number of different projects. We've got our pitch pipeline. So as you have your Monday morning meetings and want to go through each pitch and next steps, we can enhance this report to put whatever information is needed on there. So this is a real high-level overview of the investment banking template. If you would have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out at 513-482-1127, or just shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Thank you very much.